Welcome back to the State of Stupidity. It's been a minute. Here we are again. I mean, we did say that it was going to get weirder, and we took a bit of a break after that. And I think 2024 has been probably one of the weirdest years on record, we started out with Jew tunnels, and now here we are in the chaos of July.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy time. I mean, what happened over the weekend? How does that happen in this country?
Well, first, let's take a time to give condolences to the life lost, the family of the life lost over the weekend at the Trump rally from the shooting. Now, clearly, that is going to be the primary focus of what we're going to rant and rave about. We're an entertainment podcast first and foremost. We've always been upfront about being just two fucktards who like to bullshit, and we bullshit pretty good about current events compared to what we're supposed to take seriously as far as commentators and stuff like that. So that's why we are back and here with you again. But yes, before we even get into any of that, just condolences to the family of the life lost at the Trump rally and to the victims that are currently healing. Now, Jay, where have we been? What have we been doing?
Well, I've been pretty busy working on a gun shop.
Yes.
You've been trying to learn stuff.
I mean, yeah, I've learned how to use 3D printers. I've learned how to use laser cutters. I've learned CAD software. I mean, the amount of things that I've taught myself. Now I'm currently going to be moving forward, behind the scenes, I'm going to be our editor and poster. I'm going to take care of a majority of that side of things. Jay is still going to be my podcasting duo. I mean, I'm not going to have another co-host. I am going to be doing more shows and stuff like that as far as State of Stupidity goes, but that's going to be for a future time. Now, CSO Tactical is about to get a brick and mortar shop. That is Jay's, what's that? What is your...
That's my hobby/business.
Hobby/business. Yeah, so. And that's what I'm trying to do with State of Stupidity Productions. We're not just a podcast. We're so much more than that now. But to get back on topic and back to current events, over the weekend at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, there was an attempt on President Trump, ex-President Trump, former President Trump,
future President Trump,
all the different ways that you can say it. And as always, with the plot of the movie, there's some definite fuckery afoot. Now, I'm of the mindset we don't say the name of who they're trying to blame because they can't even get the name right.
Well, I mean, what do they need biometrics for, too? I've never heard of anything like that.
For the phone?
No, they needed biometrics before they could say who it was.
Right.
I mean, are you kidding me? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I mean, when have they ever said that about anybody?
Right.
Unless they were blown up.
Yeah.
Other than that, they did DNA and biometrics. They knew, either you know who it is or you're trying to cover up who it is.
Well, exactly. And that's the problem is that we have a clear shot of a weirdly dry blood stained face. Now, soaked in blood, but if you notice the victim's face has these three streaks, the shooter, the actual perpetrator of the crime. He's got these three dried blood streaks across his face. Like he'd been sitting there for a lot longer than that blood should have had time to dry.
I don't know. I mean, I heard that was a picture of a picture, so maybe that messed up that too. It's possible.
Hey.
But I mean, let's just talk about that. How did he even get that close?
Right.
How do you get within 130 yards of the president, ex-president, future president, whatever you want to call it, with a gun on a roof in the middle of pretty much a field?
130 yards?
So they said it was 130, 150. It goes in that, right between those two.
Yeah.
They tried saying 200 to 300, but they just wanted to make that look good.
Well, and there's a lot of discrepancies about why it wasn't covered and
exactly. Like, how's that building?
Yeah.
Not covered? And like you stated earlier, they had a water tower right behind the building.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you have Overwatch in the water tower?
Yeah. That was the highest point for a decent view of everything.
See everything.
At most, you have a lookout.
Exactly.
Like that to me would just be common sense.
I mean, they say the Secret Service has been doing this forever.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, it looked like the kindergarten bullshit. I mean, how do you have something so? I mean, of course it's outside, so it's a little harder to secure. But it's not like you're in New York City where you have skyscrapers and there's 30-story buildings and there's hundreds of windows that you got to watch every single window.
Right.
And then you had the one of the snipers was looking in the direction of the building.
Well, yeah, they had there's clear footage of snipers that are posted up on a roof, like with Trump in the shot. And they're clearly looking in that direction.
How do you not see somebody on a white roofed building?
Right. Especially wearing the gear that he was wearing.
It wasn't like he was wearing whiteout gear and had a white rifle. He had a black rifle and he was dressed in dark gray.
Yeah, he stuck out
black
like a sore thumb.
Yeah, I mean, he stuck, exactly. I mean, what did they think he was doing, a roof inspection? I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
Well, I mean, the people who were right there saw him.
They were telling him about it.
Yeah.
Like how when they say, the minute somebody says there's a guy with a gun,
right,
the first thing they should have done is radioed that back to Secret Service and get Trump off the stage.
Right.
I mean, this thing is so bad, it's almost like it's set up to kill Trump.
Right.
You can't look at it any other way. Either that or DEI really destroyed the ability of the Secret Service.
Well, I think there is a few different narrative ways to look at the bigger picture of it all. I mean, it was by design. It's not some lone 20-year-old shooter that came up with a plan and a plot and was able to do it in his basement of his parents' house.
You have the news talking about it now. We don't know if it was an assassination attempt or what his motive was. He could have just trying to make a mass casualty event. Okay, so you're going to do a mass casualty event at one of the most secure places, supposedly,
right,
in the country. But you're not going to do the mass casualty event down at the church, down at the school, down at the Walmart, anywhere else. You're going to go somewhere where it's highly secured.
Yeah.
And now he's so great at doing this that he snuck into this place undetected.
Right.
And was able to get off 5 shots, 6 shots, 7 shots, whatever it is.
It doesn't add up.
No, there's nothing that adds up there. Obviously, it's probably another CIA plan.
Well,
like they did with Kennedy.
And
the problem they have nowadays is there's way too many people with phones and stuff gets around way too easy
and too quick.
Exactly, it's immediate.
Like there was something for some reason I decided to watch live. Like I turned on. The odd thing is that it was even pushed an hour because he was originally scheduled to talk at 5. Like he was originally announced that he was going to be talking at 5.
So what did the kid do? Stood on the ground for an hour,
right,
before he decided to go over there and scale the building.
And then you have where an hour passes, and I was like, all right, I'll check back in, see what's going on, and it just so happened to be at the point where Trump was just about to come out on the stage, and so I was like, oh well, hey, let's see what goes on. 6 minutes and 11 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all the time that he was actually on that stage for. So after those people waited, as long as they did,
hours, probably since the morning.
I can guarantee you a majority of them.
They might have
were
some
there.
people camped out overnight.
Exactly, and so you have a riled up crowd, and you go and do that, and everything was still calm. Like it was incredible to see a response from a crowd that didn't turn to utter chaos.
Well, that's just
though utter chaos was unfolding around them.
The detriment for the difference between Republicans and Democrats. If that would have been Democrats, they probably would have crashed the bleachers to the ground, been panic, running in all different directions, running over each other, stampeding.
Yeah.
But everybody was calm, cool, and collected. And let's face it, if they would have went nuts, it would have been a lot harder for Secret Service to do their job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just goes to show the type of people that are there supporting this guy.
Well, calm, cool, and collected, and always there to be supporting him. Vincent Fusoa, that he's got a conspiracy going about him because he was so calm and cool, collected.
That guy
he's just standing right back behind him. The second things go off, there is a guy that in the Q groups has been passed around as everybody thinks he is.
This is a time traveler.
Well,
that's what I
JFK
heard.
Jr. See, from the stories that I hear, The story is that this is JFK Jr. in disguise. And I mean, like, if you're going to have a guy that's in disguise who was supposedly taken out from the Clintons back in the day, like, who was a part of the narrative, he definitely acted like he didn't know what was going on because he looked down at just the perfect time for it to start. Like, it's bizarre, the coincidences that occur at these things.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, you have somebody that's connected to things like that. You have, your DEI gets full on blast shown as to just how bad it really is.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a shame to say, but, there's one of the Secret Service agents looks scared out of their mind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do.
The one, and then
can't holster
their own weapon.
Well, didn't even know when to get out the weapon.
Draws the weapon after you're at the car, and you literally have another Secret Service agent with a rifle, and you're going to draw your weapon for what point?
Yeah.
What were you going to do? And then when you go to put your weapon away, you can't get the weapon holstered.
Right.
What kind of training are these people getting?
Well, and now supposedly the Secret Service is trying to say that they didn't really have people that were there, that these people were actually Department of Homeland Security that were acting in place of Secret Service. So, I mean...
And who were these people? The snipers or the ones that were protecting Trump?
Across the board, from what I'm understanding, which doesn't make any sense because... Well, supposedly in 2016 when he was running for president, he had like snipers posted on
they were on every
rooftops.
Roof. There was a gentleman that was at one of the 2016 rallies in Butler.
Yeah.
He said that was at the Butler airport.
Yeah.
He said he never felt more secure in his life. There were so many people around. He didn't feel more safe in his whole life except for there. And he said he went to that rally, and he said, I'm looking around, and I'm thinking, I don't see any snipers.
Yeah.
How do you go from all these snipers to none?
Yeah. Oh, no, they had one.
Well, they had two.
They had one in a spotter.
Yeah, they had one in the other building, too.
Okay.
There was a spotter and another one on the other building. But still, like, why didn't you have somebody on the water tower or on the other building?
Yeah.
And if they were DHS, they were put there on purpose, so they didn't do their job.
Exactly.
Because the Secret Service that are dedicated to Trump, obviously they're probably, because when he did get shot at, they did a great job getting up there and surrounding him right away.
Yeah.
But the guys on the roof, the
guy looked away from his scope. He looked away from his scope and then back to his scope. I'm sorry, you're a sniper.
You mean after the shooting happened?
You're a trained sniper. No, like when he was shooting.
Okay.
Like
when the
yeah, when it went down, when you see the first shots happen and like it's he looks away and then looks back and fires.
Yeah.
Like you had that good of a shot that you were able to look away from your scope, look back in, and then pop him, and he was done.
Yeah, they probably had that gun locked in on that location already.
Well, I mean, they were looking there for like 2-3 minutes because I mean they had that much time where the people on the ground were letting everyone know. They were letting the police know. They were letting the Secret Service know.
When
they were letting everyone know. Hey, there's a guy up on this roof.
And when they let them all know. How do you, they had I guess it was the Butler police that went up on the roof. How do you go on the roof without your gun drawn?
Right.
That's completely ridiculous. The first thing I would think, we have a threat, we have somebody armed. I'm not popping my head over this roof line without having my gun drawn and being able to shoot right away.
Yeah.
And then even when he popped his head up, or she, I don't know if it was a male or a female cop, and the assassin, shooter, whatever, turns towards them, and they cowered and they duck down fall behind the building.
Yeah.
Listen, if your job is to protect the president, protect all the constituents, all the people, the civilians. If you got to get shot at, you got to get shot at.
Yeah.
Then at least everybody knows, hey, there's a shooter over here.
Right.
Then you can get Trump down. But no, I mean, like I said, there's just so many failures.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of that movie Shooter, where they conned the special forces sniper into doing Overwatch. Where would you put the sniper? Where would you do this? And then they have the cop with him.
Yeah.
And then when they shoot the president, they shoot him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost what it seemed like was going on. Was the cop putting his head up there and saying, "Oh, you know what? He didn't shoot yet, so I can't shoot him yet.
Right.
Or the Overwatch sniper, well, he didn't shoot yet, so I can't shoot yet. There's other reports out that say that sniper seen him for 2 to 3 minutes and radio for authority to shoot him, and he didn't get it.
Well, he said, or the reports are coming out that that's not protocol. He's supposed to just take
Shoot
a
on
shot.
sight, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna?
You see a guy with a weapon, and you're there to protect the president. It doesn't even matter if the guy's there to shoot the president or not.
There's a guy.
Take the douchebag out.
There's a guy with that has a weapon capable of shooting 500 to 600 yards within 130 yards. He's an immediate threat.
Yeah.
He gets taken down immediately.
Now, what's going to come from as the dust settles? Now, it's the far left and the far right that are both the most riled up
exactly.
that they have ever been. Like, you have people who, I mean, I just saw a video of the douchebag from fucking Jack Black's buddy, Kyle Gass. They were doing a Tenacious D concert, and the fucker was blowing out birthday candles and said, what's your birthday wish? And he said, well, next time don't miss Trump.
Yeah.
You've got these fucking tards
that's the problem
going that far with this shit.
That's the problem with the whole country. It's not the people in the middle. It's the far left and the far right are the problem. And they're screaming the loudest, so they're getting the most attention.
Your vocal minorities.
Yep.
Your vocal minorities will always outshine the silent majority.
Exactly.
But the problem is, the silent majority isn't going to be silent anymore.
Not forever.
The silent majority, this didn't go, if it would have happened the way that everybody thinks, where Trump would have gotten taken out, like, it would have been a lot more of a tyrannical clampdown on things.
I mean, think about it. You're Trump.
Yeah.
How do you trust any of them fucking guys?
How do you trust your inner circle?
That's what I'm saying.
If you're not my family, I don't fucking trust you right now. Like,
how do you trust
not? And then he goes and, well, now he's just announced his VP today.
Yeah.
JD Vance.
Yeah.
Which, well, I have no idea who the guy really is. I don't know anything about him.
How do you trust DHS?
Yeah.
How do you trust the Secret Service to protect you?
Yeah.
If I was him, I would fire every single one of them.
Yeah.
And I would just go get private military security of my own.
Right.
Because they're the only ones that are going to protect him.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because they're going to get paid a shit ton of money to do it.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's what I would do. I mean, I wouldn't trust them. And then when you get in office, you can't even trust them.
And that's the problem we're now currently facing is now everybody that failed him is who he is going to have, other than the ones that he gets to appoint. They're going to still be there.
Exactly.
In a year's time.
That's why they need to get shit. That's why they need to get fired.
After he's inaugurated, because, like, and granted, like, I mean, if you didn't, it doesn't matter if you were voting for him or not. He was shot at. He's got some gangster shit on top of gangster shit on top of gangster shit.
Listen,
he has won the election.
The
election's over.
They tried putting him in prison. They tried putting him in prison 3-4 different ways.
Yeah.
That every single one of them in there is guilty of the same shit.
Yeah.
All day long. They should all be in prison if they're going to put him in. They couldn't do that.
Well,
so then what's the next best thing? We can't imprison you, so let's just kill you off.
Everything has been revelation of their methods. Like, it's been, they've shown the general populace now what most of us tinfoil hat wearers have been saying for decades and being called crazy.
What happened to all the hate has no home here signs?
What's that?
The hate has no home here signs. Remember doing the Trump Clinton?
Yeah.
The Democrats, hate has no home here.
Right.
When you got to put a sign out like that, people know you're putting a sign out because you can't do it yourself because you actually hate everybody.
Yes.
So now you got to make it look like you don't hate people.
Exactly.
And where did that go?
Well, and
hate had no home while they were burning down, people's homes, people's businesses, entire cities.
Yeah. We've got it's victim bullies.
Exactly.
They're just victim bullies.
And then you know what? And then when they get shot or killed or arrested, they're the victim right away. And you know what the other problem is? Yeah. Everybody else acts like, oh yeah, you are the victim. We're sorry. You have a disease. Yeah. Now, before you know it, theft's going to be a disease.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
Oh yeah. It's ridiculous. And I mean, well, it's by design.
Absolutely.
Like this
they
past weekend,
create chaos.
Yeah.
And then profit off of it.
Yeah. Well, this one was even more so by design, and like always, I have some proof. Like the narrative of the zeitgeist is being pushed towards this narrative. it's one of those things where on Thursday of last week, The Boys on Amazon Prime had an episode where the main plot was the team finding out about a presidential assassination attempt that was going to be happening in the show's script at a January 6th rally. Now, they found files. I played the audio. You heard where they found Secret Service files and where the detail was going to be and all this shit. Now, after that, the next day, that was Thursday. Then Friday, in the zeitgeist, we have Marvel Entertainment releasing the new Captain America Brave New World trailer, which in the plot involves an assassination attempt on the president. Now, you've got two shows that are being pumped out to millions and millions of people. MK Ultra was already proven to be a real thing, a bullshit that they have done. Then Saturday comes and Saturday happens. Now, nobody's going to talk about those things. Nobody's going to mention it because we had a poor father hero die at the thing. We have people who are injured. We can't talk about this shit. We have to tread lightly. We have to do this. We have to do that.
Look at all the pressure Biden was getting to get dropped out by his own party.
Right.
And now that's all old news now.
Now what happened? Yes, let's go back. Let's go back a week ago. What the fuck did that dumbass just do?
He called Harris Vice President Trump. He called Zelensky Putin. Putin's got to win this war. Well, no shit. You said out loud what you really want to happen.
Yeah.
You want Putin to win the war.
Yeah.
Well, you had Zelensky right across from you.
Yeah.
Then you had to backpedal that bullshit.
He literally introduced
Zelensky
as Putin.
And then
that guy had to stand there. That guy had to stand there and fucking hear it.
Exactly.
That's one of the greatest moments in the history of all that bullshit.
And then he said Putin's got to win the war.
Yeah.
He said that right to Zelensky. I mean, he looked like a complete idiot.
Oh my God! And then the clips of watching his team react.
Oh yeah, exactly. Man. I wish I could have been in the war room and watching them react.
Oh man,
that would have been. That's just a whole show in itself.
Yes, that's just it. I mean,
but the whole thing is, this has been going on since he was elected, since before he got elected.
Well,
they had to keep him in his basement because they couldn't have him do debates.
Right. When did they bring him out?
At the very end.
The very end. Yeah. They didn't announce him until like August 18th.
Yep.
And he was the candidate.
Then what did he do? He hid in his basement the whole time.
The whole fucking time, except for like a debate or two.
Yeah, he did one or two debates. But they're all scripted.
Within that, yes.
They're all controlled bullshit debates.
Which, I mean, we had that one.
This debate he completely got his ass. This debate he completely got his ass handed to him. I didn't even watch it because I knew it was going to be a joke.
Yeah. There was one that you could just catch the highlights. Yeah. The fact that they didn't want an audience, the fact that
what happens after the debate?
This and that,
he gets destroyed. So what does he say? It's enough of this debate. We need to put the bullseye on Trump.
Right.
5 days before he gets shot at. Yeah.
5 days.
And then we can't be inciting violence. But when he talks about inciting violence, he brought up all the violence against the Democrats, but didn't bring up anything against the Republicans.
Right.
So you're only worried about inciting violence. Number one, when it doesn't. If he would have killed Trump, they would have been all celebrating behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. Now they're still celebrating. They're just upset that the job didn't get done right.
Oh,
but they're trying to act like they care about Trump. They don't care about him. If you cared about him, you wouldn't call him a convicted criminal. You wouldn't call him Hitler. You wouldn't call him the biggest threat to democracy.
Exactly.
No, the biggest threat to democracy is you.
Yes. No, they're scared.
Oh, they are scared. Absolutely, they're scared.
They're scared.
Now they're really scared because
no retaliation. Don't retaliate. No violence.
You know why they're scared? Because when they take shots, they miss because they're anti-gun.
Yeah.
When people that shoot guns all the time take shots, they usually don't miss.
Right. And that's just it. And the thing is we're now in a volatile point where we're at like 2020 times where you don't know what you're dealing with when you go out the door.
No, absolutely.
Because if you if you happen to interact with somebody who is just chewing on that fucking narrative of the bullshit that's out there, well, dude, you're gonna end up having a bad time.
Absolutely.
And that's both fucking sides.
Oh, it's both sides.
Because it needs to be all dismantled in an appropriate way.
Listen, you got to worry about it right now. Like you said, retaliation, because you just have some right-wing wingnut that goes out there and tries to shoot Biden now. I mean, it's like you said, it's scary.
Yeah. Or even somebody who's like, well, because like the rhetoric on the left, the far left is, fuckers just missed.
Well, exactly. So now you have another left-wing crazy.
I got this. Don't worry.
I'm going to finish the job the right way.
Yeah.
And and you know what happens? All the civilians are the ones that end up getting hurt. Out of the whole thing.
And all it gives is the authoritarian, militarial douchebags all the way at the top who are just clamoring at the bit.
Exactly.
They want martial law. They want to come down hard. They want to do all this tyrannical bullshit. They're just chomping at the bit for a fucking reason.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this kid too. We don't even know, like, where did this kid come from? What made him so upset that he's going to take a shot at the president?
Well, okay, so one of the people, the person that they are trying to put in this box of being the guy is supposedly a Republican who donated
To the
Democrats.
yeah.
That's a nice fucking narrative for your little story. So that way you don't have to say, oh, he was definitely a this or definitely a that.
Yeah, or he was Antifa.
You can split it down the middle.
Yeah,
that poor fucking guy that they claimed was the Antifa guy.
Yeah.
Like, dude, let the dust settle. Let us get it right before the internet is forever. So we can go after the fucker once we need to. He's already dead. We don't need to go after him.
Exactly.
There's nothing there.
Let's figure it out.
Just let's figure out, let the dust settle before going and trying to fucking go after somebody who is still alive and still has to then go and try and destigmatize themselves.
Well, the whole thing is, I don't know. We already know what the fucking motive was. He wanted to kill the president.
Right.
But he hates the president.
Do you need
let's fucking call it what it is.
You're going to end up tying it back to an FBI informant that tried to. It's gonna end up back at the FBI.
Well, it's gonna end up happening exactly. It's gonna come back just like that last shooting that happened up in I think it was Massachusetts or Maine.
Yeah.
Where they sent the police out to do a welfare check because they knew the guy was messed up and they couldn't. He didn't answer the door, so they just gave the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then he ends up shooting a bunch of people, and they're like, well, how wasn't he on anybody's radar? Oh, wait, he was on radar. Nobody followed through with their job.
Yeah.
So you're going to have probably the same thing, like you said. And now we have the FBI.
Yeah.
Probably the most unworthy and untrustful police organization in the country. They're going to lead the investigation, just like they led the investigation into the Trump bullshit with Russia,
right?
And ended up being fucking Clinton, and they knew it they knew it the whole time, just like they led the investigation into Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yeah.
That they knew was fucking real the whole time, and they lied about that. We're going to let them run the investigation?
Oh yeah.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
Hey.
The only thing we should do with the FBI is fucking abolish it completely because they're fucking liars.
Right.
And the problem is, you could say, well, there's a lot of good people there, which there are.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking deep, you don't know who's good, so just get rid of all of them.
And that is every alphabet agency that has come about since World War II.
Absolutely. CIA, DHS, they're all the same. The EPA, they're all pieces of shit at the top.
Absolutely.
They're not there to help anybody. They're there to rip people off. They're there to put people in prison, and they're there to make other people rich. That's what they're there for.
They're there. Well, I mean, we've gotten so far away from the human trafficking issue that is plaguing the nation again.
I mean, if we want, all they have to do for Trump, next time he has another rally, just use the same security EPA has down in Philadelphia. Because let me tell you, it's some serious shit down there.
Really?
And what do you need? What's the EPA need so much security for? Who's going after them?
Yeah. What's
Well, you walk into the EPA office. There's a big wall with security there.
Okay.
You tell them what you're doing.
Yeah.
Then they say, okay, go around here to the side. You walk around to the side. You're met with 2 more security guards and a fucking metal detector. And then, oh, I'm here to see such and such. Oh, hold on a second. You're not allowed to walk in the building at all. They got to come down, meet you, escort you up to their office.
What?
Yeah. So, well, why don't we have that security? What do they need so much security for? You know why? Because they're fucking stealing from people every day. So they're scared shitless.
Because they shouldn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
They need that many people involved in the process of just seeing them.
They're like, we're stealing from so many fucking people.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna come here pissed off and probably shoot at us. So we better get a bunch of fucking security because we're a bunch of thieves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after Killdozer, governments definitely learned a thing or two from that little situation.
They didn't learn enough because they're still stealing from people every day.
Well, they learned how to be smarter about it, but they're still just stupid as fuck. I mean,
exactly.
And that's just it. And hey, we'll be back again soon.